Justice for Freddie!
After days of peaceful protests,
following the breaking news that started roughly a little after 3 o'clock this afternoon, violence that erupted in the section of northwest Baltimore.
The chaos that erupted on that afternoon in that city had been building for days over the death of a man named Freddie Gray.
It does feel like a crisis there. You're shaking your head now.
The crisis was before everybody saw it. Baltimore has been perpetually in crisis.
The task ahead is aimed at letting the whites of Baltimore and Maryland know the Negro is tired of waiting and that things will be uncomfortable until something is done about issues like voter registration, welfare, housing, and urban renewal.
There are areas in East Baltimore in which 98% of the housing or more is considered deficient. It's obvious that the city has neglected its responsibility and that there is a need for some work to be done in this area.
Well, I think they're entitled to their opinion, just as well as I'm entitled to mine, and the people of Baltimore City entitled to their opinion.
It's inevitable that the civil rights revolution had to get to this point if it was going to succeed. Thus far, it has been a revolution of the powerless. We have been, in a sense, petitioning and asking. Now we want to gain the power so that we can demand, or if we do not succeed in our demands, we can toss the bums out.
And all these things are now major problems. They were heard. No one went out immediately and changed any institutions or changed anything around. But they were heard, and they're going to have to come. These changes will have to come.
But what I'm saying is that if he is innocent of what we are trying to say that he...
Are you still optimistic, as you stated before, that there will be no trouble in Baltimore this summer?
Yes, I'm optimistic on that. I think that again, there's so much work to be done that people are interested in solving these problems. I think they're going to be so busy working on them, there's not going to be a whole lot of time or reason for any outbreak of violence.
It's going to require a lot of participation from all segments of society if we're going to make some changes so that we can get rid of some of these evils.
From the White House, speaking on the subject of civil rights, President of the United States.
Fires of frustration and discord are burning in every city. Redress is sought in the streets, in demonstrations, parades, and protests, which create tensions and threaten violence and threaten lives. We face, therefore, a moral crisis as a country and a people. It cannot be met by repressive police action. It cannot be left to increase demonstrations in the streets. It cannot be quieted by token moves or talk. It is a time to act in the Congress, in your state and local legislative body, and above all, in all of our daily lives.
When Freddie Gray died in police custody, that same anger, this time visited to a different generation, took root again. Not because he was like Dr. King, a civil rights leader and a great orator, but because people thought that there was no justice, and therefore there should be no peace.